what is the difference between attack speed versus cast speed? To put it simply, attack speed only affects attacks, while cast speed only affects spells. And it's very important to know the difference between attacks and spells and what they are. And I'm going to cover that in just a second to help you guys understand when you have an attack versus when you have a spell. So how you can tell the difference between an attack versus spell is really simple. All you really need to do is hover over the gem and it will tell you itself. Like for instance, this ice crash. If you look right under where it says ice crash, it's going to say attack. Therefore, you know that this is an attack skill and it will be affected by attack speed, but it will not be affected by cast speed. Conversely, if we look at Frostbolt, we see that it's a spell. So Frostbolt will always be affected by cast speed, but it will not be affected by attack speed. Another really important distinction you need to understand when it comes to attacks versus spells has to do with modifiers. For instance, if we look at the suffix, which states 2 life gained for each enemy hit by your attacks, this modifier only affects attacks and not spells. So if you are using a spell and have this modifier, you are receiving no bonus. Essentially, this suffix is dead to you. Furthermore, if we look at this prefix, which states physical attack damage leads as mana, we can see that not only does the skill need to be an attack, it also only affects the physical damage you do. So if you have 100% phys conversion to an element such as fire or ice, this prefix is not fitting you either. Now, if you're using a spell and you're looking for life or mana gain, there isn't a whole lot of options for you outside of Shaper Rings, which you can see have life and mana gain on hit. But there is another way to gain life or mana through an item, which would be a shield. Let me go to shields real quick. So shields are a great way of recovering either life or mana because you can get either life or mana on block without needing an influence shield. It's going to depend on what base you're using though. So for instance, if you want life on block, you will need a strength base shield. And if you want mana on block, you will need an int base shield. Hybrid bases such as strength int bases, they don't have the option for both. The only option for strength int base is mana gain on block, so it's just a small tidbit to remember when you're looking for these modifiers. Additionally, if you're in a trade league and you're willing to spend a little more currency, I'd recommend a Shaper Shield. The reason why I'd recommend a Shaper Shield is because not only do they have the option for both life and mana, but they also have ES recovery on block, and these are all 3 to 5% recovery instead of a flat amount, which is generally better than a flat amount in this case. Just for instance, as an example, the Tier 1 mana gain on block is 31 to 39. 5% of whatever your mana is going to be more than 39. So just almost in every case, the flat is going to fall short of percent. In this example, this is specifically for shields. This is not like generally. This is specifically for shields. And these specific modifiers, the percent is going to beat out the flat. Another thing I would highly recommend if you're going to get a shield is to always get one with increased block chance, just because the difference between 25% and 30% might not seem like a lot, but I guarantee you will feel the difference even if you have no other increased block chance like on your tree or anything. If you just have 25% block chance versus 30% block chance, you will feel a difference. It will feel very, very different. I promise you. So if you're going to get a shield, I'd highly recommend you get one with increased block chance.